I grew up obviously without a dad. He was there, you know, sometimes, but not consistently. And so when I got to high school and in my later years, I always heard people talking about how a girl's promiscuity or self-image or low self-esteem was related to her dad not being around. And I always thought, that makes no sense, because why would, you know, that matter? He wasn't there, so, and I don't, you know, care about him. I don't miss him, so why would I be longing for something? And actually, it's been in your interaction with Zipporah, our daughter, that I've looked and said, oh, that's why it matters. Because, you know, every Saturday you take her on a date and she comes home and she's excited that she got to hang out specifically with you. You tell her that she's pretty, but that, you know, prettiness starts in the heart, you know, and that's what makes her pretty. You open her door and just, you know, just watching that, I'm realizing, oh, she is getting built up by her father, and she's therefore knowing her value. So if a counterfeit man who was going to treat her less than ever came along, she was going to recognize, wait, you know, that's not how I should be treated, because my dad didn't treat me that way. So I didn't have that picture. So I've likened it to, we talked about when I worked in retail and how we used to have to do inventory markdowns, and I hated them. But there'd be sometimes where I'd be scanning them to see if anything went on sale, and there'd be a dress I'd been looking at for forever that was really expensive, and all of a sudden it's on the clearance rack. You know, it's $19.99, and I'm floored because I finally get to buy this, you know, cheap dress. But then I would have these moments where I thought, wait a minute, these stores are really getting over on us. This dress is not $100. It's really $19.99, or they never would have sold it for, you know, $19.99. And then there's that other dress that you look at and look at and look at, and season after season, and never goes on sale. Next thing you know, it's shipped back to the manufacturer, because that dress really was expensive and it really was handcrafted. It really took a lot of time, and so they're not going to sell it for $10 because they know the value of it. They know the true worth, so it's never going to end up on the clearance rack. And so that, in my mind, is how I'm starting to see women. You know, we counsel a lot of women, a lot of married couples, a lot of women and men that want to be married, and you see these people in these relationships, you're thinking, why is she allowing him to lead her in this? Why is she allowing, I see that she's beautiful and loves the Lord and has all this worth, but she doesn't, you know. And a lot of times we do start with a relationship with the dad, but that, she doesn't know that she's that handcrafted, beautifully stitched, valuable, you know, dress. She thinks she's been given her value by someone else. That guy has told her, you know, you may look like $100, but really you're $19.99. And that's what I feel like men, and really just not men, but other circumstances in the world can do, is to give a girl a value that has not been given to her by the Lord.
That's good. Just staying on the theme of words, even if a woman, you know, in a mature state, grew up as a daughter without a father, if guys, as you know, brothers in the Lord, or just guys period, really were reading the scriptures and understood the value that the Lord has placed on women, would you say, if you came across those guys more consistently, that could have allowed you to have the right value?
Oh, yeah. I mean, sadly, you know, I become a believer, and you know how you are when you first become a believer. It's like, bam, I got all this information. I'm joyful. I'm excited. And then you may come across a guy, though, he's a Christian too. And I do these fingers because, I mean, who knows what that means nowadays. You know, I know that I had entered into relationships like that. Oh, he's a Christian, therefore husband material. Right. No one had discipled me. No one had showed me that. And so I run into a guy, and they, you know, have characteristics of master manipulators, or still having the same schemes as a lost guy, you know? And so you begin to think, oh, I am still worth this, you know, like, because I'm new in the faith. I am still worth being treated the same way I was treated in high school, because this must just be how it is. Right.
I am worth $1.
Yeah, I am $1, you know, because that's just what we're worth.
Yeah, because he's a Christian and he sees me as $1, so I guess,
yeah. And so, but later, you know, I remember meeting a guy who was just a friend, but specifically said, oh, that's not how you're supposed to be treated, you know, and trying to explain to me my value. And for just it resonated in my Holy Spirit, but my mind was still kind of broken from all my lost days and this new believer of like, so if I had ran into many guys who said, hey, sister in the Lord, I don't want to extort you. I don't want anything from you. In the most pure way possible, every time I engage you, I want to bless you, you know, as I would my own sister in the, you know, in my family. I think I would have understood quickly or quicker. So without a father, I still believe that women in the church should be, you know, again, in the scriptures, seeing who she is, but around gospel community of people that are wanting to invest in her, whether she ends up being their wife or not, you know. And I'm talking about community, you know, not hanging out with a guy one-on-one so he can invest in you. That sounds shady, you know. But
girl, let me invest in you.
Yeah, no, brother, I don't need. Yeah, let me make some deposits.
This is my new ministry.
So yeah, not that. That's a red flag for anybody wondering. But just, you know, that healthy community and people proclaiming to you the gospel, reminding you of the gospel, and then reminding you that you are of value, you know. And so if your dad didn't do it, God is still faithful, you know, and he's still gonna put people in your life.